Hey guys, good afternoon. It's Don Diehl, and I am on the campus at Trevecca University, downtown Nashville, where I teach at some point during the fall, especially. So we're getting started here. I wanted to do a little training video with you as a follow-up to our session last week on the 5th of August. And so there are three homework assignments that we've talked about that in your personal development time this month, one each week. So there'll be three of them. And so I'm just going to walk through those very clearly with you. This will take about 10 minutes or so, but I will just go through and I'll share my screen with you to show a little bit of that. So I would encourage you, if you need to stop the video now, to go get your laptop, make sure you have that open, and then the resources for the homework that you had in your email last week, and then get ready to go through those activities and follow along, go online to the places where I go, or look at the material that I've given to you. So once again, remember the goal is 30 minutes a week for you to set aside solo, just by yourself, to go through each one of these. And then that way, when we get together, you will have just taken one at a time and spent about 30 minutes on each one. And that's how you kind of develop a habit of helping yourself to grow as a leader. So here's the first one. The first one is complete the delegation and directing action plan. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So this is the action plan, this sheet that I gave to you. You might need to make a copy of that. This is to help you practice delegating and giving direction to someone in particular who is a Carnelian team member. So you start up here in the top by putting their name in this blank, and then as best as you can, identify which disc style, DIS or C, that you believe they would be. And that's based on, what you've learned by each one of those, what you've learned yourself. And you answer each of these questions. What is the task that you're going to have them do? It doesn't have to be complicated or a big kind of thing, just something small, but something important, something that they would feel like is a meaningful thing, not just busy work. Second question is how your employee likes to work. What do you notice about them? What helps them to know what to do or to do a good job? What do you notice about their style? Are they excited and energetic? Are they very kind of cerebral and thinking and focusing when they're doing a task? Do they write things down? Do they just go by memory? Just what do you notice about them? Third question is, are there any potential problems in your working together? Do you guys look at things differently? And that can be seen by the slide that we're going to show you here in just a minute that helps you to identify what their style is. So if I stop sharing this screen, I'm going to actually go to another one that will kind of introduce that, again for you. So if I go to the everything disc um, slide right there, you can see in this one, as I move it around just a little bit, where you can go and learn about management by going here on the left-hand side and clicking the management tool. And then you can go into these, your management style, if you want to remind yourself of those, directing and delegating. And so here you go to see how you would compare with the I style, the D style, the S, and the C. And that's a very interesting comparison. So I am going to show you some slides that will help you to kind of have that in a nutshell. I'm going to pause the video here in just a minute, and then we're going to continue. Hold on just a moment. Okay, so I had to find the slides that I had talked about, and let's jump to these slides. This will help you. This will help you to remember and to know how. Where did I get the slideshow? Oh, right here. So this will help you to know what you want to learn from each one of these different disc styles. So not only do you want to learn about your natural directing and delegating style, but you also want to be able to identify the direct the needs of different people. So that's what I'm going to help you to do right now. How do you adapt your approach of directing, giving directions, or delegating, giving a task and asking them to follow through based on their approach? So I'm going to walk you through just a brief, and might want to take a picture of this or just write down a couple of notes. But if you're working with somebody like a D that has high D, here are the three things that you want to remember. Remember to share the big picture in reasoning so they understand why you're going that direction. Involve them in the decision making. Don't just tell them what to do. And then the third is balance checking in on progress with giving them some autonomy or freedom. So give them instruction, make sure they don't have any questions, then let them go on their own to do it, and then check back. A D works best that way. Here is an I style. Empower them to collaborate, encourage them to think through details. Balance embracing new ideas with following through on existing processes. So it's a balance of something future oriented and new and something current. That's an I. You can come back and look at these again and pause it if you want. Here's an S. Provide clear instructions, be able to be available as an ongoing resource. So don't just leave them by themselves. They like that connection and to make sure they're doing well. And then balance their need of collaborate decision making, deciding in a group with them taking the initiative and making a decision and moving forward. And then the last one is the C, of course. Share the details behind the reasoning. They need to know the why. Second is make a scope and timeless clear up front. Let them know how long they have to get it done and when they need to check back with you. And then the last is balance their desire to work independently with encouraging them to collaborate. C's will tend to want to just work on their own because they want accuracy and they want independence. They don't want to wait on somebody else, but it's important that they involve more people. So those are the differences there then in the style and what you want to encourage them to do. And the reason that we're doing this is, of course, because we are looking at that action plan, and that action plan is helping you to know what exactly they are to be doing. And so complete that direction and delegating action plan. That's week one. So let's move on to week two. Week two is the video. Week two is watching the Chris Littlefield video, which is about giving clear instructions. And so I'll take you to that slide and or that instruction. And this is the one I'll share with you here in just a second. And so I'll get this up on the screen. So we're going to share them a slide, and here we go. You will see this video. If you need to Google search it, if you can't find the link that I sent you last week, Google search his name, Chris Littlefield, and then just put in there how to give clear instructions, and you'll come to this right here.
Clear instructions to do A, B, and C, and then the next day they showed up with X, Y, Z.
So that's it. That is his video. Okay, you have the link in what I gave to you last week. And here's the questions that I want you to do in that section. This is week two, your 30 minutes in week two, and that is explain playback. He talks about playback and having conversation after and getting them to explain what you said and the instructions that you gave. So explain in your own words what that means, playback. And all this comes from the video. So if you don't know the answers, just simply go back and watch the 4-minute video again. How is the check-in period a time saver? He talks about that. By taking time to meet with them again to see the progress that they're making and answering questions, it actually saves you time as a leader, not takes more time. And so answer that question, and this will be in the form that I will give to you to fill out those questions for your homework in the month of August. And then the last question, of course, is directing and delegating. How do you see that as a gap or a barrier, or would that be a hurdle? We've talked about those three, the hurdle, the gap, and the barrier, and the definitions of the three. Which do you see delegating and directing for yourself? And that's what I want you to do there. All right, so one more is remaining. It's called in week three. This is your 30-minute development plan for week three. And that is your owners have identified 5 areas of leadership as managers that they expect for you to begin developing and become better at. And so I want you to give a brief description of how you see yourself, giving an example of living that out or leading that in the Carnelian. And here's what the five are. They will be in your notes, but the five have to do with, let me get my thing back up here. It is leadership, and I'll give you a definition in there. And so you would just write in that little gap of it says example. How have you demonstrated that kind of leadership in the last month? What would be an example of that? Just be specific. Don't say what you would do or you're planning to do, but what have you done to demonstrate leadership? Second is accuracy, making sure something is accurate and the data is correct, or you followed instructions completely to the finish. Accuracy, making sure that things are done right and with excellence. Give an example of when you've done that. The third is consistency, which is the ability to be counted on for self-initiated progress and daily progress. Coming to work, knowing what you need to accomplish, writing things down, checking your list at the end of the day, making sure you have completion and you've done things right. Consistency is you as a leader, having a plan every day, working that plan out, being dependable from your owners. That is a management and a leadership core value that they want to see you develop. So, give an example. How have you demonstrated consistency? And then there's two more: problem solving, seeing a problem, seeing an inconsistency, coming up with a vision or what you think would be a good way to solve it, and then putting the action plan in place and see how it goes, and then evaluating, well, how did that go with that decision making? Do I do that again the next time, or do I change it? Did I need to make some adjustments? And then give an example of how you have demonstrated good decision making. And then the last example is persistence. And that's determination to keep trying until the issue is solved and solved well, not giving up on it, not making a plan and not following through, not letting somebody else or something else. Remember, that's the gap, the barrier, and the hurdle. But it's making sure that you finish through to the end. Give an example of how in your leadership in the last month you've demonstrated persistence. Okay, well, we're out of time. That's about 11 minutes on the video or so, and that's all the time we've got. So I just wanted to walk you through those, give you an explanation, let you walk back through and read this again each of the weeks so it's very clear. Take time, and man, I'd love to see you finish and complete each one of these by the time we meet in September. Okay, there will be a response on the video. If you have a question for me and you want to reach out to me, that's perfectly fine. But we will see you in September. All right. Thanks for watching this video and jumping in 30 minutes each week, and you have three of them in August to complete. You can do it. I know you can. Thank you.